What is up, Manny? Good morning. How's it
Good
going, bud?
morning. Good. How you doing?
You are loud in my ears when I start when I start broadcasting and stuff like that. I get to turn up the music and listen, hang out. And then like editing, you're listening for like sound effects or not effects, artifacts and stuff like that in the background. Yeah, the volume's loud, and I always forget to turn it back down and whatever. Anyways, good morning, everybody. Welcome to LRMornings and our first attempt ever to do this live. I am your host, Kyle Malone, and I'm joined today by
Manny the Moody Mammoth.
Manny the Moody Mammoth? I don't think I've ever heard that one.
It's from Ice Age.
Okay, there you go. It's kind of cool to be doing this live. It's something that we actually hope to do in the future quite a bit more often. We're working on getting all, like you can see me, I just put up a picture up there. We're working on getting all the stuff figured out, but we've got some WandaVision stuff to talk about this morning, and kind of how our consumer need to know everything, which I'm very guilty of. And then people's need for attention kind of came to a head this week following a bunch of rumors and alleged leaks and a real leak regarding WandaVision. And then all of a sudden we get some stuff that seemed kind of suspect, playing off some of those rumors. And I know you've definitely got some words to say about people that are looking to be first on the news bandwagon. What you guys say about that, man?
It's just annoying because I mean, a lot of these rumors that we find, that we see people talking about, we can tell that they're not true, just because they just seem a little bit outlandish or too far fetched, and so we don't run them. And then a couple of hours later, most of the time, it turns out that they were just bonkers. It's just somebody trying to get attention. But obviously, the fear of missing out, also known as FOMO, has other sites and other outlets. They'll report on it because, you know, in case it is true, they don't want to be left in the dark. Like, oh, we didn't report on this either. And it's just interesting because if you think about a couple of years back when we didn't have so much social media and so much attention to the internet, all you would know about a movie really or a TV show is what you'd see in a commercial and a TV guide or a trailer, and that was it. And you just let your imagination run wild on what what you're gonna see, and you weren't craving so much attention and so much of a need to know everything before you see it, which if you really think about it, it kind of ruins the whole experience.
It can, yeah.
TV show. I know a lot of people that just stay away from trailers and everything just so that they can experience the actual show. I don't understand why it's always such a need to know everything before it happens. I just enjoy the show as it's supposed to be, naturally. And if we get some reveals, great, but there's no need to try and decipher the entire thing, because you'll just ruin it for a lot of people.
I can definitely see that. On the business side of things, like people will hear me a lot on this show and the other podcasts that I do, and they'll hear me say, "Oh, I want to know more. I want to know what's going on here or there." But it's not as much as I want to see the story ruined, or I want to know ahead of time. I'm just one of those. I was an engineer in the Army. I'm very list oriented, very very plan oriented, and so for me, when I want to know what's going on, it's usually more of I want to make sure there's a plan, and I want to make sure people are they've got a goal that they're headed to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't necessarily want to know specifics. I just want to know I'm in good hands. It's okay to talk about. I think it's okay to talk about what this subject of the potential and alleged leaks are. And they revolve around characters that are potentially XMen, characters like Mephisto. And we actually had some photos. You guys can find them at LRMonline.com in an article written yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. That's the honest review. Where are those weird pictures at? Where is that article? I thought it was earlier or later than that. I guess not. Anyways, there was some funny pictures that showed up. You can find them on our website, and one of our contributors had a photo editor. He knows look at it, and they were like, yeah, this seems kind of suspect. It doesn't really seem like it's going to match well. And I agreed. The pictures were definitely kind of funny looking. But even at the worst, the one that has the most potential to be real was this minifigures look. And I can actually bring this up on our website as well, lrmonline.com. You guys can see it here in a tweet from WandaVision News. Everybody's been talking about Mephisto being in it, so not that big of a deal. But there's another photo. I'm not going to share it here, which really, even though we believe it to be fake, could have been a massive spoiler, because it would have shown them doing something completely unexpected while playing with theories that we had. And I don't know, if I come across that on accident online, I'm pissed.
Of course. I 100% agree with you. But at this point, when WandaVision started, the rumors of Mephisto started immediately.
Yep.
So, and like you said, plans are important, and Kevin Feige is definitely a man with a plan. While over at Warner Brothers, they're more like, the Joker, a dog chasing cars. They wouldn't know what to do with it if they caught it.
Right.
So you really think that they would make it that easy for everyone?
No, I don't. Which is why I think there's been so much misdirection.
Yeah.
It's funny because we've seen we've seen Marvel give us surprises before, which is always great. But we've also seen them do exactly what we expected them to do, and that also be great. This is one of those storylines where from the get go, I said, this is magic. This has nothing to do. There's no aim. I've been anti-aim from the beginning and whatnot. It's not going to ruin anything, like you said, but still, you want that moment, especially of seeing who it is and this alleged leak that we think may have been fake. If it turned out to be real, it would have been really upsetting to have that revealed, not just Mephisto being there, but the specific. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just remember that this is supposed to tie in with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Mm-hmm. So we might want to start looking into that realm instead of going towards XMen and things like that, because I don't think Feige has too much desire yet to enter the X-Men. When he does, I believe it's going to be on a grander scale, not a TV show, which is nothing to say that they wouldn't do it here, but I definitely think that it'd definitely be more of a feature than it'd be on a TV show. So with that, I kind of I'm not worried about it because I'm along for the ride and I've enjoyed it, but yeah, it's fun. This is the first time we've had something like that from Marvel Studios, where it's episodic, which is something that Feige had talked about, that he's enjoying the fact that fans are able to talk about it every week and kind of and enjoy it and put their own theories. I know that I talked to Jack earlier this week, the head writer, and she's blown away by the amount of theories and the amount of meticulous research that people do for a Marvel television show. You should probably do that for investments and other things as well. But it's fun, because we thought we were going to get a big lull after The Mandalorian on Disney Plus, but they followed it up with WandaVision, and we're having fun with that. And I know we're going to enjoy that till that runs out, and then we're going to go right into Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So I'm very happy that we're finally getting some consistent releases from Disney Plus and overall from, which includes the Marvel and the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, definitely. What I can remember having The Force Awakens accidentally spoiled. I'm one of those people. Cam is more open about how often he goes to a specific website filled with filth and villainy while looking for news, which is legit, and more legit than what I do at that website, which is go look for dark humored memes to send to people that will hopefully never see the light of day. But I love me some dark humor. I got this awesome meme. It's got the xenomorph and Ripley from Alien 3, and it's that scene where the xenomorph is like right on her, but it can detect that she's carrying, right? And it's the xenomorph is like people with actual dark humor, and then Ripley's like people that think they have dark humor.
It's no one for office, man.
there's this YouTuber, Simon Whistler. I really enjoy watching his shows. He's got like 10 channels. He's like me, but makes enough money to pay other people to do the editing, so he's less stressed. All he does is record the videos. He has this like rim shot joke when there's puns and stuff made on his one of his channels, and a guy made an amputee joke, I believe it was, about not being able to point a finger. This guy had no hands, and he made a joke about pointing fingers, and he just refused to do his classic rim shot, to play off the pun, and I sent him that meme, but I labeled the alien as his writer, Danny, and Ripley as Simon. And then no joke, like 2 episodes later, he makes a dark humor joke about what would happen if his wife made him a cauliflower steak instead of a real steak, and made a joke about somebody put up a meme of a wife beater on the screen. And I was like, now I have to give you your point back, because that's incredibly fucking dark humor. Anyways, I had Force Awakens spoiled for me on that website. It was Han Solo's death. I knew he was gonna die already, but still seeing it made me angry. I could be a bit of a troll too, and I'm always like one that says I'm willing to get dirty if I have to, but I don't want to, and I'm never going to go out of my way to ruin someone's day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. We're in a strange position though, where, well, not strange, in a privileged position where a lot of times we get previewed information first. So, as that part of press, we have to realize that we're gonna learn things, but I think we also have the responsibility of just being careful how we share it, because just like you got Force Awakens spoiled, I remember back when, I think her name was Beth in The Walking Dead, the East Coast people ruined it for the West Coast people, and by the like an hour or so before it premiered, they showed the pictures were everywhere of Daryl carrying her.
Yeah.
And it was like, I remember being so upset about it. And so, wow. Yeah, I think that was so far the biggest thing that's been spoiled for me, because other than that, I know that, for example, like if a movie comes out on a Thursday or Wednesday sometimes, well, in theaters, if I don't watch it that night, I know that the next day or so, we're going to have to cover certain aspects of the movie.
Right.
They're going to be spoiled. So it's always, for me, it's important to try to watch it on the night of, or even like a preview, because in the position that we are, we're probably going to be spoiled if we wait any longer.
Yeah.
That comes with the job though.
And also, one of the fun things that I know we've done here, and I've definitely offered, Cam sacrificed himself and became the guy that would do all the spoiler stuff on Game of Thrones. I'm not a huge DC guy, so I've said, hey, I'll read whatever DC spoilers that we want to do news and stuff on, and then we alert people, because there is a market for people that want to see spoilers and get to know first. They just can't wait. My wife is one of them. But they don't ruin it for other people. Like, what is the point of that? Like, there's so many better ways to get at someone than ruining a movie. I remember the big push for Endgame, don't ruin the Endgame.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a really nice way that the Russos did it. And for the most part, I think it worked. Yeah, there's trolls out there, but not only did fans not try to give away too much, but I think moderators on book boards and places that have some control were on the lookout, which was nice.
Yeah, but they worked really hard on that marketing campaign. I remember.
Yes.
And they locked Tom Holland in the closet so that he wouldn't be able to spoil anything. And so
I love that video.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I love that video where they're it's all of the different guys and girls from the MCU, and they're answering questions, and I think it's Benedict Cumberbatch with Tom, and Tom's got like tape over his mouth.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
I love how he plays along with it. The stuff that came out about WandaVision, like I said, most people are expecting it. Like I said, some of it relates around Mephisto. Some of it is theories about X-Men. I agree with you. I think we might get some X-Men like sprinkles here, but this is a WandaVision Wanda story that's going to lead into a Doctor Strange story. And I like what Nick said on Marvel Multiverse Mondays, which you guys can catch every Monday on the LRM Online Podcast Network and YouTube now. We're starting to load those up. Phase 4 and 5, maybe going forward, basically, he sees instead of a bunch of movies that have one thread going through them, you're going to have a bunch of movies that have a bunch of different threads going through them and Disney Plus shows. And then eventually at the end, some of those threads will come together, and there's your next crossover, whether it's Avengers 5, Young Avengers, New Avengers, God forbid AVX. Well,
I mean, it would be a perfect time to do Secret Wars, because all you need to do is transport people out of their situation. So it's not like it requires that much backstory. It's just people disappearing. Yeah. And then appearing on what is it called? Battleworld? Yeah. Yep. I think so. Battleworld. So, and that could work. So
yeah. And Secret Wars or a version of it is the one thing the Russos said they would return for. So I'm down. And even the 2015 version to explain fixing the multiverse once it's broken is fine with me.
The comic book, the 2000, that was trash. That thing was so late. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, the release was fun. Well, what I'm saying is like their end plan once they defeat Emperor Doom, and figure out that it was the Molecule Man, if I'm not mistaken, was providing the raw power for Doom to manipulate the new battle world. And then I think it was 616 Reed and Franklin make a deal and use the Molecule Man and reshape the universe, which was fine. Fantastic Four is another thing a lot of people think is being teased a lot in here. People thinking that because some Agent Franklin must mean that it's Franklin Richards. I didn't buy that one at all either. But there is another little story to talk about. I wanted to mention because I know you're a DC guy. I know a lot of us at LRM and across the world, we're not. When someone says they're tired of talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League, it doesn't necessarily mean they're against it or that they don't want it to happen. It's just that it's been so long and so much that a lot of us are just ready for it to be released so it can be over. So that aspect of it, we can go ahead and get the reactions, the arguments of, is it better than theatrical? Is it better than MCU stuff? Is it better than other DC stuff? But Snyder released an image from Jared Leto's time as Joker in his geez, I forgot to turn off my Jawa. I'm sorry. He's out there trying to steal parts for me and is reporting back on what he's got, and for that he can have 2 quarter portions, so half portion. Yeah, he can have half portion for that. Anyways, let's see. Leto's Joker in Snyder's Justice League. As a DC guy, I don't know what your opinion was on the theatrical cut of Justice League or anything, but as a just DC guy, I know you're interested in seeing this. Does Leto being in it interest you any more, any less, or you don't care?
So I am of the mind that I just want this to be over, and I am a DC guy, and I hated Justice League. I mean, from the opening scene, what the first thing that we see is a CGI'd faced Superman, which set the tone for the rest of the movie. I feel, and then you can tell different places where Whedon made his cuts and changes, and it just didn't flow right. Definitely, because at one point they said for Darkseid, and then they never mentioned it again, and then he was completely cut out of the movie, which was just so annoying. And I'm not gonna get into that because we can talk about that for days. But
yeah,
sorry. I was actually very upset at the way that Leto was treated on for his role as the Joker, because I think he had a little bit more to offer. It's already been commented by David Ayer. I know Leto has been frustrated also because they filmed quite a bit more. But obviously the overlords at Warner Brothers wanted they wanted to let the trailer company cut the movie because the trailer was so good, and so they made a bunch of changes, and they ruined his movie. I think, because I have a lot of respect for a lot of the films that Ayer has made, and I think if they gave him the same reins that they're giving Gunn now, I think it would have been an entirely different situation. So I do want to see Leto again, just because I want to see what more he has to offer to the role, because he's such a fantastic actor. You've seen him in a lot of other roles. You know that he's how he gets into his roles. You see that. Hi there.
Live.
And so it's I want to see what I want to see more of him. I really do. And I would have wanted to see him up against Batman, but we know that that's not going to happen. So if there's a silver lining to the Justice League and what more, okay, cool. There's going to be Darkseid, all for it. He's one of my favorite characters. And now we're going to get Joker. But, it's funny because, yeah, he's being teased, but how much is he really going to be in it? Like, how much more of a story are they going to interweave that the Joker's going to be in there? Or is it going to be like a little flashback that Bruce has where he sees him or something like that? So
I know it was alleged, and I think Snyder said this himself, that there was only roughly 5 additional minutes filmed that weren't already filmed. That doesn't include things like special effects, ADR, yada yada. That's just as far as stuff that wasn't in a can or to be done on a computer. Allegedly was only 5 minutes. And like you're saying, what can you do with, because you're adding some Darkseid stuff, which will be mostly CGI, but you may have needed some of your human characters on set for some reactions or stuff. You wanted to add some stuff with Joker. We know some heroes were there, some heroes weren't. So when you start adding it up, you're just like, what really can you do Leto's Joker, which I hated the Suicide Squad. I thought it was garbage movie, like most people. Could there be a better version of it? Sure, maybe. What I find interesting is I've always been, I try to be one of those people that's consistent. I want consistency, and people can change their mind so long as you can see the process of the changing mind, and it's not like a fair weather or trend type thing. But I can remember the early 2010s, as well as I can remember 1999, 2002, and 2005. And both of them had the same anger. In 99 to 05, people hated George Lucas for what he was doing with the prequels and what he had done to the special edition. And then in the early 2000s with Man of Steel, BVS, you had a lot of people that did not like Snyder. They didn't like his vision, his version. You had people that did, but you had a lot of people fire Snyder. I can remember it clearly. I can remember comment sections on LRM before I joined. Fire Snyder. Snyder's what's wrong. Snyder doesn't get it. And then Justice League theatrical hits. It sucks. And we start the Snyder Cut conspiracy, and he gets it. Like, he gets to make his movie. It's crazy. But not only that, I heard he just finished a third version of BVS, a remastered. No, I'm not joking. A remastered. He released it on his Vero. Remastered BVS. No release date as of now. But yeah, that's when the movie comes out. If it's not good, will people say it's not good? Or do you think that the hype is so high no matter what, even if it is objectively looking at the theatrical or looking at similar complaints in BVS, if it's got objectively bad moments and it's not that enjoyable, I don't think there's going to be people that will admit that. I think it's like, nope, no matter what, defend to the end. What do you think?
I know, I agree with you, because we have that group of Marvel fans now, like Jason and I call them Marvel zombies, that swear that every movie's good. That they've put out.
Nick.
And then they'll
Marvel's amazing. It's an A. No.
And then Nick, they hate everything that like Sony does. Okay, objectively, the Sony's movies are not very good. But yeah, I think that all these Snyder fans that have been clamoring for it and saying that it's going to be so much better, I think they're gonna, if it's not good, then they're going to stick by it and say how amazing it is, and the rest of the world is going to be like, it's not very good, man. And then we're going to be called the haters, because I was one of the first ones to, when I watched Batman v Superman, when I screened it, I sat there in the theater as everybody was getting up, and I was like, no one's gonna like this. and then the same thing for Justice League. When I got to see that, I sat there at the end of the theater and said, this sucked. and was very, very unhappy. But I will say the Batman v Superman, the director's cut, just adding that, I think it was like an extra half an hour, made such a difference to the movie. But I think that one also had other issues, like you should have never released a trailer with Doomsday in it, and there's a couple of other things. But I liked it better with the director's cut, and so yeah, it's gonna be. I think the problem with it is that it's been hyped up so much now by Snyder, with look at this image and Martian Manhunter and the Joker and Darkseid, and it's gonna be rated R and black and white trailer and all this other stuff, that you've put it up so high that it's going to be impossible to live up to it.
I can definitely.
The expectations are so high now that even if it's good, if it's not fantastic, who cares? You've told me that this movie was going to, is supposed to be your big "I told you so" of how amazing I am. When Zack Snyder, to be honest, doesn't really understand DC characters. You've seen what he did with Superman. Jace, he's a Superman purist, is a big voice in hating Man of Steel, and I can see why. And right now we're talking yesterday, and his biggest complaint, and I 100% agree with him. He told me a Superman movie should never be rated R. And I 100% agree. The Justice League is a team that should be enjoyed by everyone. You want to make a rated R movie like that? Go ahead and use The Watchmen. Go ahead and use The Seven. And go ahead and use The Suicide Squad. But a Justice League movie should not be rated R.
Oops, sorry about that. Just knocked over my speaker. This brings up a conversation I had with my wife and Brian, I think, and it was in relation to creative freedom with existing properties, right? We all know that there's certain properties, Star Wars, for example, DC Heroes, some of them, for example. There's certain IPs that take on a life of their own because of the fans, whether it's because fans that start doing cosplay, fans that get into the industry and start writing novels that expand the stories, fans that make games, yada yada, whatever it is. There comes a time to where, unfortunately, in our modern society, whether it's right or wrong, unfortunately, some properties no longer really belong to the creator in the same way that they did when they created it, and you have to balance what the creator wants with what the consumer wants, because it's not fashionable to be the starving artist anymore. It's not the Renaissance. It's a Renaissance. It's
I never heard it called like that.
How I Met Your Mother played in my in a video I saw earlier, and in that show there's multiple words Ted pronounces wrong, like a chameleon. He'll say chameleon, and instead of Renaissance, he says Renaissance. And since I just before we started saw a clip of Ted, that was in my mind. But anyways, the Renaissance, contemporary politics is something that certain IPs aren't designed for. DC and Marvel are prime examples. DC was created, heroes were created as demigods. They were altruistic. They were something to look up to. They were flawless. They were what people needed facing world wars, economic destitution, and agricultural destitution during Dust Bowl times and times after. Marvel came along, and instead of giving people these idols, perfect idols to look at, Marvel said, we're going to do contemporary politics with things like the XMen dealing with race, and we're going to deal with family issues, and we're going to make all of our heroes humans first and heroes second. And it was it completely made sense. I believe DC is one of those things, and I believe Star Wars is one of those things where it's like contemporary stuff that doesn't necessarily fit those, because those were designed as escapes, and everyone will point to Star Wars using stuff from the World Wars. Yeah, but that was already 30 years in the past when Star Wars came out. They were commenting on past stuff, but it's escapism.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you have geniuses like JMS, J. Michael Straczynski, that want to do contemporary politics and sci-fi. So what did he do? He created Babylon 5, one of the most beloved sci-fi series there is, and he went nuts with politics with it, and it fit the story and the world that he created. Now, Superman killing isn't necessarily political, but it goes to the same thing. What Superman was created to be and what he's supposed to represent isn't going to mesh well with people when you start attaching modern day stuff to it. Does that make sense? Am I right?
No, it makes complete sense, because now you're taking that symbol that they're supposed to be, and you're making it your own, which in some degrees is okay, but when you start removing its core values, like Superman is one of the greatest heroes because of the fact that he doesn't kill, because of the fact that he there's a line that he won't cross. That's what makes a hero in general. A hero has different lines that they won't cross, which is what makes Batman a hero, and what makes his fight with the Joker so interesting, because the Joker knows he won't cross that line, so he's going to
use it to his advantage.
Yeah, use that to his advantage every time. And I almost feel like, well, if you ever had Snyder to get a hold of the Joker with Batman, Batman would probably shoot him in the face. Because I just, it's one thing to make the Watchmen, and it's another thing to make the Justice League. They're completely different characters, and I think that you need to have people that understand the characters in order to make films. And I think Zack Snyder just saw it as a treasure chest full of wonderful toys that he can use to make his amazing visuals, but it still lacked that core character value that we've loved so much in our movies. I mean, just look at the Christopher Reeves Superman movies, and how those are, and because Batman is dark and broody, Superman is not. There's a reason why they contrast so well, and they've been able to work well together. And I agree with you. Also, creators they don't really have control over their things anymore. Just look at how upset Alan Moore has been with all the Watchmen stuff. Because
Alan Moore,
what the hell? It's supposed to be one story.
He's always upset about his.
But it's true though. He created them, but Warner Bros. Is like, don't care. We're gonna make all these books. We're gonna make all these TV. Well, the TV series was fantastic, so whatever. But it's to speak to your point that we're at a point now where these characters owned by these companies, the creators, you can give your opinion if you want, but it doesn't mean we're gonna agree with you and do what you think.
And I do believe it's harder with DC because of when and why they were created, to sometimes bring them to the modern screen. They definitely work well in their comic books and their animation, but movie-going audiences, general audience, are different. And I think maybe if I wanted to try to give Warner Brothers the benefit of the doubt, that's what they were trying to do. But it's not general moviegoers that went and saw Iron Man. It was me and my friends, and you and your friends, and then we went and told our friends that aren't geeky, go see this movie because it's just a really good action movie. Like, you don't need to know the comic book. And they did, and they liked it, and it took on a life of its own. And now we have the MCU, and the MCU now has general audiences in it. DC doesn't quite have that yet.
100%. Prime example, after Avengers Infinity War, when that, at the end of the moment where Nick Fury disappears and his comm drops and you see the Captain Marvel symbol. I remember leaving that theater, and I don't know how it was in your theater, but ours was like silent. Ours was just, everybody was like, what the hell just happened? But you can see like half of the people also going, what was that symbol, or what happened, or what? And but the other half was like, so yeah, you're right. Marvel has gain the trust of general audiences, knowing that you're going to be entertained, which I don't think DC has that yet.
Right. And I will say this on the last word on Leto to wrap it all back around. Hearing that there is indeed a third version of BVS, I am now in the release the air cut camp, because
100%.
if you're gonna let Snyder do his not even the original Snyder cut, this isn't even what he originally had planned. This is all brand new. You're gonna do that. You're gonna let him clean up BVS and spend more money on that, and you're not gonna let Ayer do his cut, who he already got a blessing from James Gunn, who's doing the Suicide Squad. James Gunn's like, yeah, let him do his movie. So fuck it, Warner Brothers.
And he doesn't have anything else to shoot for his movie either.
Let him do it. I'll say this. I believe his movie would cost less and be faster to cut back together than Justice League was.
100%. I agree.
I'd almost, I'd put my paltry paycheck on it. We'll see what happens with him. I wonder what look he's going to have, because that fuzzy picture, it definitely does not look the exact same as the Mr. J gangster Joker we saw in Suicide Squad. So,
and I liked it. And he was creepy.
Mm-hmm.
He was, he knew that he had places where he can go where Batman couldn't touch him. And I thought he just didn't get the right time, because I when he was interrogating one of the guards about Harley Quinn and how she's doing and things like that, and I thought that was creepy as hell. And I liked the storytelling as far as why he had certain things on his body. Granted, I did not like all of the tattoos, but he's psychotic, and I understand the concept. I just don't think that it was presented the way that Ayer or Leto wanted him to be.
Yeah, aesthetics can ruin something, but bad aesthetics and a good story can make up for that. Mm-hmm. And I think like Power Rangers is a good example. The 2015, 2016 Power Rangers movie with the guy that played Billy in season 2, 3 of Stranger Things. And anyways, that movie, horrible aesthetics. The Rangers look like crap. The Zords look like Transformers. Got horrible things happened to them on route to Earth. It's aesthetically garbage, but it was a really good character-driven movie with a young cast of talented actors, and that worked. So you could have had shitty aesthetics with Leto's Joker. If you had done it right, people would have been able to look past it, I think. So,
well, the thing about Power Rangers is that they missed a lot of the fundamental things that made, like you're talking about, that made Power Rangers, so beloved. I know for me personally, and then also David Yost had commented about this too, is they didn't assemble the Megazord. It just popped up.
Yeah.
And one of those most exciting parts about the Power Rangers is when the Megazord comes together. I know, oh man, they used to be with with the metal guitar and everything, and all the pieces are coming together, and then the lightning bolts, and it's exciting, it's fun, it's which will makes it what it is. You could even had though kind of, you didn't have to go all crazy with the Power Ranger suits,
interlocking and everything, and
it's not what we needed, it's not what we wanted. It could have been a lot simpler than that.
It wasn't without Joker. It wasn't without flaws, but I did think that those kids deserved a second movie. I think it had a lot of potential.
It did.
But you're right, Joker, Leto's Joker at least deserves to be seen the way it was meant to be seen, even if it ends up just being some special feature clips on a HBO Max documentary or special edition Blu-ray. I don't know, but for someone that in my mind brought so much grief to Warner Brothers and DC, this is Zack Snyder. Regardless of your personal opinions of his movies, because you're allowed to like them, but he brought so much grief that I think I just would have moved on. And since they didn't, it's not fair to let him get to play with his toy and not air.
You make a really good point. Let me ask you one last question though.
Sure.
Do you think this maybe is a trial run to see if they want to continue working with Leto? Because I don't understand why they would just bring him back, lure him back actually after being upset with the air cut, and for him to bring him back and then not say, if this goes well, we're gonna bring you on for another project.
With the multiverse aspect of it, I'll be honest, I would be interested in a less gangster aesthetic that maybe changes because of multiverse travel, or he changes it himself to fit in. I would almost love to see Leto's Joker interact with Pattinson's Batman based off of the trailer. Just based off, like, I don't even want Arthur Fleck Joker. Like, I think honestly, especially if you can mess with the aesthetic a little bit, it doesn't have to be 100%. You don't have to get rid of all of the tats or the grill or everything, but some of the aesthetic change. I really think Leto's Joker could be an interesting Joker for Pattinson's Batman, just based off of what they appear to be doing with Penguin and Riddler in the trailer. And I stand by the guys in the clown makeup with the big smiles are obviously Joker lackeys, Joker fans. Joker exists in the Batman. I have no doubt, because of that scene where he beats the fuck out of that guy, which is a great scene. And I love this. Brian mentioned it. He loves the sound design in that scene. But yeah, if I was going to put him anywhere, that's what I would do. I'd use the multiverse. I don't know that they're going to use him, but if I were, that's how I would do it. Multiverse that shit. Throw him in with Pattinson's second Batman movie. Because imagine him being fractured as he is from the world he's at, and then all of a sudden he wakes up in another world with a Batman that he doesn't know, and a Batman that's younger, and now he's like, ooh, I know Batman. I fought Batman for her X amount of years, but this isn't the same Batman. I think that could be an interesting.
You know what, man? You just sold me on that idea. and they couldn't be more opposite. Also,
yeah, exactly.
Batman is so just dark and broody, and then you bring in this colorful, like horrific Joker. That that opposite aesthetic of each other. I think that would be so cool.
And one that realizes that maybe either a Pattinson's Joker doesn't exist yet, or B was a little bitch, or he got put in jail, or whatever the case may be. He sees an opportunity. I like that. I think that could work. But Warner Brothers is a lot like Sony and doesn't like to make good so anyways, any last words, man, for our first, and I guess mostly successful, except for I can't figure out how to do the pictures the way I want to, but I will work on that. Any other words, Manny?
Oh, no, not today.
All right.
Yeah.
You guys, thank you so much for listening and joining us. We're going to try to do these live episodes once a week. They will go up in audio format as always onto the website, LRMonline.com, and our podcast channels, wherever you get those from, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple, Google. We're everywhere. So go like, share, subscribe, follow on those apps. So that way you can know whenever brand new shows like Breaking Geek Radio, the Cantina Reviews, Anime-Versal Reviews, the No Mercy podcast coming out later on today, wrapping up season 3 of Cobra Kai. A lot of great stuff out there, guys. So be sure to like, share, subscribe. Like I said, we're everywhere, and we're free. So, maybe you might have to listen to an ad every now and then, but we're free. So, Manny, it says it online where they can find you on Twitter, but what else do you do online?
Well, on LRM, you can find my articles and also interviews. Today, we'll be posting one with Marshall Falk ahead of the Super Bowl. And also, we have a couple of interviews with the cast of Judas and the Black Messiah coming up soon. You can also find me on Instagram at riddlethis_510, as well as the hashtag you see below at LRM_Emmanuel.
And you guys see where to find me on Twitter. I'm at that one, the number one, at that one Kyle Malone on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for listening. Leave us some comments. Let us know what you think. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.